Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
The president of Red Apple Media, Chad Lopez, and also now sitting next to Chad is my great buddy, my guy. I call him Uncle Bo, the great cop, Uncle Bo Dietl. He's on the show every Tuesday, and I've known Bo for the better part of 28 years, dating back to the Imus days. You look great, by the way. Were you in Florida or something?
Yeah, let me tell you. I went down Friday morning when the storm was coming at 7 o'clock. I jumped on a plane. So I said, I got to come back for this show. They said, what are you talking about? Stay down in Florida. It's beautiful. I said, I told Stid I was going to be there. They canceled 4 flights last night. I made it. I'm here for you, and I wouldn't miss your 10-year anniversary.
You look gorgeous. You look like $1 million. You're nice and temple. Let me start with Chad. Chad, look, everybody knows this story. It was in my first book, You're Wrong and You're Ugly, which nobody read. Thank you very much. But we know that Cumulus really wanted Mike Lupica. Don Imus really wanted Mike Lupica. Your program director at the time, Craig Schwab, really wanted Mike Lupica. And you said, and I know that Curtis and Pete Morgan and Jill Vitale and a few others said, I don't know, I think Sid and Bernie would be the better match. But ultimately, that was up to you. And you went against Cumulus, Imus, and all these heavyweights and said, I'm making the decision. I'm bringing Sid back. And I know we've had some nervous moments along the way, and you and I got physical a couple of times. That's a true story. Yeah, we did at the old office at Madison Square Garden. But 10 years later, Chad Lopez, you're looking pretty damn good this morning.
That's right. With the broken, I had surgery, rotator cuff surgery. So that's what happened in the first fight with Sid, by the way. And that was the injury from that. I just finally decided to get it fixed. No, but Sid, I think it's incredible. 10 years, morning show host, news talk, morning show host. That's unheard of. There's only a few that was there. Imus, 50-plus years in morning show, right? And then you had someone else who doesn't really make it, I don't even know him. But then to have Sid 10 years, a decade in mornings is incredible. And what you've done for the station, taking it to, you mentioned where we were. And it was an easy fight for me because it was either let's bring something in, fresh, new, let's take a chance, because what they had there was terrible programming, right? Yeah. But Cumulus also knew that their programming was struggling. It was pushed down from the top. When you came in, we pushed from the bottom up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you took great stories. We'd had our moments, but I chalked that up to just passion and desire to win from both of us.
Well, I was in your office that first day, and I remember the first time we got a little heated. I said to you, boss, no disrespect, but I didn't come up here from Florida to lose. I want to win. And I think you said to me, you're going to win.
Yeah.
If you're going to be here, that was the exact verbiage. I mean, maybe I was here for 6 months at that point. This is early 2016. So we both wanted to win. I go back to the days, Chad, and I'll give you a lot of credit because you would have these meetings and, Bo, Chad would be talking about, social media and all these things that are so important now that back then no one even knew about. I mean, nobody. And I would sit there and go, this guy is either out of his mind or he's a genius. And all the things he talked about 9 years ago that he wanted Tachinelli, these other people to employ, now it has become a major part of our business. So you were you were a pioneer with all that stuff. And don't kid yourself, that's part of the reason why WABC is so successful.
Well, thank you.
He was the Elon Musk of radio.
He was.
Because when he's telling me about podcasts, he's telling me about this.
You remember that?
And I'm saying, this guy's on another planet. But you want to know something? Chad, with all respect, I think you did a fabulous job of bringing the brand out there, WABC. And again, in the morning, I'm be very honest, and I'm not sucking up to you, Sid. I go back 25 years. All I could say is wherever I am in the world, I turn my app on. I have to listen to you in the morning. I'm in the shower. When it's too loud, I come out of the shower, I pop my head out. Sid, you've become something that I idolize. You really do. Oh, you're like a son to me from way back 25 years. I've seen your voice go from down to the road.
Isn't that
lower.
crazy?
You
Isn't that
had a
crazy?
yeep in your voice.
I did. And listen, I remember the days, Bo, when you would come on to Imus, and he loved you. I know you loved him too, but there's a lot of times in there, Bo, and no one had it worse than me. Maybe Rob Bartlett, that fat, stupid guy. And I love you, Rob. I'm sorry. But I had it pretty bad. But he was rough with you. He a lot of times he disrespected you, didn't give you the time that you needed, because you come on my show every Tuesday and you're terrific. My listeners love you. You speak for the cops. You speak for the city. You are New York City. So I know now you have the opportunity to really speak, and you get respect from our program, because Imus for a long time beat the living daylights out of you.
Listen, I went back. I was doing the show maybe 3-4 days a week. I'd come in there wherever I want, and Imus would treat me, and I would walk out. I walked out of his show 3-4 times, and then who would call me up? His Dietl would call me and said, he's upset. I said, you tell him I'm going to punch him in the friggin' mouth the next time I see him. I said, you know what? I'll stick that gun that I got. I'll never forget him. I got him a gun permit, and I go down to the range. I say, here, cowboy, shoot. Boom, 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 6 shots. He didn't hit the friggin' target. It was 70 yards. I pulled the gun away. I said, you ain't taking this gun until you can shoot. And then on top of it, the greatest story, Sid, was it, and that's not a great story because the memories of 9/11 there, and you come back on the show and you're on the show with him, and the next thing is, Imus, I went to the cleaners. I got these great shirts. These shirts fit me really well and all that. Imus said, well, wait a second. What are your shirts? He goes, no, they gave me the wrong shirts.
First time it's noticed that the initials on my wrist said HC. And he goes, aren't you SR? Who's HC? And I said, I hate to tell you, man, but the back then you can say this, the Chinese laundry, they dropped off the shirts, and, possession is 99%, so now they're mine. He goes, they don't even fit you well. And we're going to find the guy that really owns those shirts. And you son of a bitch, Bo Dietl, you set me up.
So I go out, and then we all set the thing up, and the computers were big years ago. And then I get Johnny C., the stuntman, great actor, and he comes in as the brother of the deceased from 9/11, and he's there. Where'd you get those shirts from? Sid's there. Sid starts to shake. Next thing is he picks the computer up. This wasn't casted that way. This wasn't scripted that way. He picks the computer, throws it at you. You run all the way in the back room. Bo, protect me. The guy's crazy.
I must threw his gun at that point in the studio. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's really going to kill me over shirts.
But I mean, it was just so funny what we used to do. And I said, I saw it in you. In the beginning, this guy is destined to go somewhere. And then when you were with Bernie, I love Bernie more in life like you did.
He loved you too. But that was another difficult decision for Chad, because first Chad had to go through all the nonsense of him hiring Sid to put him in with Bernie for the midday show.
Yeah.
And then when Cumulus decided that Imus coming to work every day with a gun and a mask, that was over. And like $8 million, couldn't get a rating point, and the revenue wasn't as good as it used to be. So they're like, he's done. And again, 2 years later, Chad was faced with the decision, who do I replace Imus with? And again, people were like, it can't be Sid and Bernie. And I've got a picture on my phone. I'm wearing ripped jeans. And it's me, Chad, and Bernie signing the contract. So twice in 3 years, Chad, first you made the decision to have us do the midday show. Then 2 years later, again, against everybody, had us do the morning show.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing that you made both of those decisions, and you showed no fear, and it all worked out, obviously, but those were two major decisions in 3 years.
Well, first off, I'd like to say I didn't know what I was doing. I was a little crazy back then to put you in that shot. No. But again, it was just talent and knowing that you would take the show with Bernie. And Bernie was great.
Yeah.
You guys were a great team, right? And we were nervous. When Bernie had passed, John said, well, what are we going to do? And John said, all right, let's figure this out, right? We think Sid could do it, which you were like, I'm definitely doing it, right?
I'm doing it.
And it was one of the best decisions that we made. But again, and it's not because we work for John and Margot, but John it's incredible when you have an owner, right, who cares about the product. And we always say this. When we came over, John said, get rid of the weekend programming, and you guys all know the story. It's $2.7 million. I said, John, we can't get rid of $2.7 million. That's crazy. We got to pay for you. He's like, Chad, work on the product first, put the product out there first, and the revenue will follow, right? And that, if you had that in radio, I believe radio's not dead. I believe if you had owners that believed in that, and they're just as passionate. John's on air. He gets on because he's passionate about it. He wants to make sure we're giving our listeners live, local, and we're here for them. And that makes a big difference. So we could sit here. Sid, you're great. Just ask Sid. He'll tell you how great he is. I think I'm great. And
You are?
But really, this greatness doesn't happen without owners
No
that
question.
support
No,
that.
it's no
And
question.
so, and it's not, again, we're not kissing butt here. It's just the truth.
It is the truth. John and Margot have
Yes.
done a tremendous job. Emily, you too. And Bo, you know that. You know, you're a businessman yourself. You know, I look at New York City and I get sad, and we talk about it on the air because I feel like the guys that, you know, made this city great, whether it's John or you, even me, you know, Chad, we're not in our 30s anymore. You know, and I
Right.
look at the mayor right now. He's a young guy, but he's a complete creep. I look at the people he put around him, creeps. I look at other people in political positions, and I'm saying the strong guys, you know, Bo, guy like you, who a cop for so many years, and you went out there and you figured out all these really, really tough cases. I feel like a lot of us are going away.
You know, Sid, I came prepared to go against Mundummy today. I got my ammunition. It's not about Mundummy today. Today is about you, Sid. And I'm not going to bring it. I'm going to do my podcast on Wednesday. I'll have an update on New York City with all the negativity that this creep has brought to our city and everything else. But today it's about you, and it's about how you've taken this. And with the respect of John and Margot and Chad, they saw this happening. They had to vote for you, and they had to bank on you financially and whatever, and John foreseeing. I got a real problem with John Butt now. You know, I got a real problem.
What's the problem?
I got a call from Scorsese. He wants me in a part. I'm serious. A part in Las Vegas playing a casino owner, and he goes to me. It's going to be between you and John Catsimatidis. I said, "Get out of here!" I says, "I'm an actor." Now I got to worry about John Catsimatidis.
Listen, Marty Supreme is doing really, really well.
Hey, baby, it's going to be the best picture.
It is.
And I bet you John will be in the audience. And if they don't invite John, something's wrong with that
Yeah, he
picture.
needs
John
to
and
be
Margot.
there. He got to be there. And Timothy's going to win Best Actor, too. That has been nominated for 7 Academy Awards.
Unbelievable.
Marty
One
Supreme, I know.
movie the guy gets in, and it's an
Unbelievable.
Academy Award. John, what the heck you doing to me, John?
I tell you what, another movie is opening up this weekend you may want to see, and that's The President's going to join me in about 45 minutes. His wife, Melania.
Yeah.
Her movie comes out on Friday. That's not going to do as well as Marty Supreme, but I imagine it's going to do very, very well. So, Chad, 10 years together. Give me what you see in the future. How do we take this, where you guys took it from worst to first, and make it even better?
So what's the saying? The good news is we're number one. Bad news, we're number one because we got to stay there, right?
Right.
But
which is harder to do. It's almost easier to get there, harder to stay there.
yeah. But I would agree with that if we didn't have the ability to. We weren't nimble. We couldn't do things and take opportunities. I mean, look at opportunities and say, how do we maximize from that and grow radio? If you're here in this studio right now, you would never ever think that this was WABC or was a radio station if we took you around and you get to see the way we build content, we originated great content, right? And the one thing when Sid and I would get into arguments, even here, even now, it's Sid will say how he feels, and he'll say it, and I say, yeah, Sid, and he'll, I'm just going to say it. This is the way it's going to be. And John will say, Sid, you say it. You tell them how to say it. And then the listeners are coming in, and they're calling, and I'm saying, I said, it's just the way you say it, Sid. Just say it this way. But he didn't listen.
No.
And he just went and said it the way he did. So I learned that from you, is just to let you say what you want to say. And as John says, just tell the truth.
Just tell the
right?
truth. Just let him say it.
Yeah, and how you feel.
I've tried to fix some of that, just so you know.
Yeah.
But when I get very, very hot, it's difficult.
Yeah. So now, like that has an ending to it, because how are we going to grow? We're going to continue to keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to make sure what we're saying is right and factual, and we're just going to get it out there and make sure everyone enjoys
I
it.
think most important is we have to hire a lot more lawyers for what you say. And all I know is one thing, Sid. Margot and John are in back here. I'm in back here. Whatever you say, I stand by it. There's a lot of people that are negative to you, but you're telling the truth. And you know what? A lot of people say, oh, you got to conform to what people want to hear. You know what? People want to hear the other side. You turn on all these other channels, all these liberal news shows, CBS, NBC, ABC, and you get one negative side. I turned on 11, before I went to sleep to get up last night, I turned that creep on from Channel 2. What's his name? The talk show guy that is Trump is dumping off the air. and he was talking about
Steve Colbert.
What a piece of garbage.
Oh, yeah, the
what
worst.
a negative garbage man. And that they put him on there. Now, people turn on there, and they're getting the opinions of what he's saying. Let's start turning things around and give the facts before we give the opinions of what you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I couldn't agree more.
And, again, I think it's all about one thing. Our great president, who I'm very proud to be appointed by him. You know, what's happening in Minnesota is on everybody's mind. Nobody wants to see anybody die. And this thing has to be used in a way that he has to come out of this thing right. We got midterms coming. Because if we lose the midterms, number one will be impeachment of our great president. Number two, we're going to lose the Congress, and we've got to band together. And you're the voice to bring out those votes. Let's start doing this together.
Here's the good news. President Trump will join me in 36 minutes. Everything you just talked about, Minneapolis, the midterms, you name it, that'll be part of our discussion. You don't want to miss out. President Trump coming up at 8:30. Chad, I'll always be
Sid,
eternally
before we go,
grateful. Yes.
we got one last presentation here. David Donovan, the president of the New York State Broadcasters Association. I think he's on the line right now.
Is he
We can
really?
have he's on the line.
He's a
He
great
had something
guy,
he
Dave.
wanted to say to you.
No
So we'll let
kidding.
him. Yeah.
David, are you
Hey,
there?
Sid.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Sid. You know, I see a lot of radio and television across the country, and we're challenged every day by all this new media, thousands of audio and video voices, and to stand out like you have done is an incredible achievement. It requires a unique skill and talent. You're able to tell compelling stories that capture the audience's attention and keeps them engaged. So look at today on your 10th anniversary at WABC, I want you to know that the New York State broadcasters recognize your commitments and importance to broadcasting and presenting you with a special Serving New York award. I know it doesn't come easily, and I do want to thank you for bringing the heritage call letters of one of America's great stations, WABC, back on top. You know, it's no surprise that you're number one AM News Talk morning show in New York City, and you prove the power of radio every single day. And because of you, radio is alive and well. So I believe Chad has something to present to you, and we just want to thank you for all the great work you have done.
It's the perfect time to replace that beast in your basement, your old inefficient boiler, with a highly efficient Peerless Boiler. Peerless Boilers, they're a perfect match for homes, apartments, commercial buildings, you name it. Get the heat and hot water you need efficiently and save big on your energy bill all year long. Learn more about the entire Peerless Boilers family of products, and to find a local installer near you, visit peerlessboilers.com. And remember, my guy Pete Morgan, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers, peerlessboilers.com.